Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, and I am coming to you live today from my craft studio in Bancroft, Ontario. So, welcome to Connie's Craft Along. I don't know whether you had a chance to prepare some pieces or not, but we're going to do a technique. We might get a little bit messy because we're going to use some water, but hopefully, we're going to have some fun. And if you're not crafting along right now, you can always give it a try later. And again, this is my inspiration to get started. I'll mention just a couple of things that you can do differently as we go. And my goal is to inspire you to do what I do and go beyond. Try something different, switch it up a little bit, make it yours, and most of all, have fun. Okay, so if you are here, do say hello. I am just going to get this up on my screen so I can see what we have going on here and hopefully see your comments, Facebook and all. There we go. Looks like I'm there at least. That's a good thing. Okay, what do I have to share? It is July. In Canada, should be summer hot, but oh goodness, it has been cool the last few days. Pleasant, I suppose. Not what I call pleasant because I like my summers hot, but um, pleasant. But the mornings, oh my goodness, chilly, chilly, chilly. It's been kind of crazy actually. So I am looking for some nicer weather to return and hopefully soon. Um, Not a whole lot to share with you this week from the Stampin' Up! World. Things are rolling along. Lots of great products that were live recently or went live recently and are out there for you to purchase, including the July online exclusives that include some fall and holiday items if that's what you're ready to be crafting. And if it's not, keep going with the summer stuff. Alrighty, shall we head down to the crafting area and we can get started. So for this technique, you are going to need a piece of watercolor paper, okay? And a clear block. And it could be any size. I'm thinking small. We want to stamp it onto here, and I want to put it on here a few times. So um, obviously I don't want a large block, although I could if I was going off an edge or, just using a portion of it. But I have selected a smaller block. So I'm gonna grab some scrap paper here, just because you never know what mess we might be making where. Okay. And then I have my paper towel at the ready and my inks. Okay. Oh, and a spritzer. You will need a spritzer. So this is a Stampin' Up! Spritzer. It's just a tube that I've filled with water, and then it's got the spritzer end on it. Makes a beautiful, fine, misty sort of spray. So you can start small and build with your water. Okay, so I am going to start with, what shall I say? I'm going to start with my pretty peacock, and I am going to put some ink onto my block. I'm just adding it all around there. And then I am going to spritz the block. Okay, now I'm going to have to do it off off behind me because I don't want my whole work surface getting soaking wet. So just know that I'm spritzing, and I will show you this in just a moment. So there's my spritz block. Okay, you can see it's all coming together. And then I am just going to stamp that down onto there and lift it up. Okay, now if you want to control how light or dark this gets, you can just take your paper towel and uh, dab some of the liquid off. I like how this is. I'm just going to maybe Enhance this a little bit. As you rub, you will remove some of the ink, some of the liquid, and you will lighten it. So I'm just doing that to get a little bit of shading going on. Going to wipe my block off so it's ready for the next one. And because, the liquid was getting on my table here, I should put that on my scrap paper, shouldn't I? Okay, so there is the pretty peacock. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the Lost Lagoon. It's quite a bit of ink. You know what? I'm just going to take some of this ink off of here right from the get-go, because when I spritz it, I think that it's going to spread around. Okay, where did I put? Oh, there's my spritzer. I'm going to spritz this. Okay. So this one you can see is a little bit less inky, but we're just going to use that. Okay. Then I'm going to come in here and I'm wiping it into the square so that I want to keep my squares fairly square. There we go. Okay. And then I will just clean off this block once again. Close up my ink because I had not done that before. And I'm not sure I really left enough room this time. That's a little squishy for my third block. I should have been up higher. I wonder. Huh. Can we start over? It's not really on this side. Maybe, maybe we're gonna do, oh, you know what we could do? Maybe. So it's a little bit large, but we could go with this across the bottom. Switch it up a little bit. I wasn't even thinking about that. Perhaps I should have used, this is the same size. I should have used this smaller block that isn't actually smaller. Maybe I should have used a tiny block. What do we think here? Could I get 3 on here? 1, 2. I could get 2 on here. Would that look funny? I'm not sure about that. Uh, hmm. Okay. Plan B, Plan C, not sure what it is. Maybe we stop here. Maybe we start over. Maybe we just get another piece of cardstock. Why don't we do that? I have another piece here. I was going to use it for the next card. So I might need to grab my pack of paper and cut another, but let's start again, shall we? Should we use this block this time? This one would definitely be smaller. I think it's a little too small though. I don't like this size. Okay, well, I'll turn that into something else in the future. Hey, so spritzing paper or spritzing block, creating background image, take 2. There we go. Just wipe that. In here, I've got something there that I'm not really in favor of. Just going to scoop up some of that. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to spritz a little bit of water onto my paper towel here. So just plain water on my paper towel. And I'm just going to see if I can get that to lighten up a tiny bit. Whether I really removed anything there or not, I may have made it a little bit lighter. Okay, where did my block go? Here we go. And Lost Lagoon this time. Again, I think I'm going to ink it a fair amount, and then I'm going to take some of that ink off of this one just to lighten that a little bit. Give it a spritz. And the more you spritz it, the more it'll spread and do different things on there. But this time I'm going to go close to the top. Go. So that hopefully we have room for our third. It was fine for my sample. I got all three on. They seem reasonably evenly spaced. Okay. I will show you my sample in a moment. You will see it because this actually dries fairly quickly, but the paper you can feel is still damp. So if you are doing this at home, you may need to give it some time to dry and then come back and finish your card a little bit later. Okay, so I'm just removing a little bit of the Blackberry Bliss ink from that block, and I'm going to spritz it and come in here, just like that. Ooh. Anybody getting messy yet? Just gonna dab some of that. If you want your colors nice and intense, you can just leave that. It will dry. It may take a little bit longer. You can put your heat tool on it. Now look, that touched. Interesting. Hmm. This should have been even higher, or this could have been a little lower in touching. Wonder what would happen if I try to get it to touch. Probably best to leave well enough alone. But you know me, when do I ever do that? When do I ever take the easy way out, right? Didn't I promise a laugh or two? Yeah, this could be it. Okay, this looks a little bit purple still. I don't know where the purple is. Okay, so we're going to come in here, flip it over. I don't know if that's an appropriate flip or not. I'm going to put a little bit of Pretty Peacock on there, and I'm going to spritz this, and I'm going to see what happens when I'll wipe some of this off. And I'm going to come in, let me stand up and see if I can get down here. Down the bottom there. A little bit closer. I want this down in this corner. Right down there, ish. Okay. In here. Doesn't quite, it's not a perfect block anymore, but kind of lines up a little closer the way that one does. Anyway, we're going to stop there. Okay. And I'm going to set this aside to dry because I do have my sample, plan ahead, try it out, test it out, see how it goes, and let it dry. So there we go. So there is the piece of watercolor paper that I made the other day so that I would have this ready. And it is nice and dry. Okay. And then I had said that I was going to use a strip for my sentiment, and I have a sentiment here. I have Get Well Wishes. Not sure whether I'm gonna try it in Blackberry Bliss. I did one in, I stamped one earlier, Get Well Soon. And then I was thinking afterwards that perhaps I would want it in Blackberry Bliss. I don't know for certain. Yeah, well, we didn't use him. Come in here with this. And that's right in the center of that. So this sentiment is from a stamp set. Oh, did I leave it right here? Yes, I did. Friendly Foliage. I left it there because I knew I've got a few things on the go. We have mystery stamping tonight as well. So I have sentiments out from different stamp sets, and I'm working on my scrapbooking club layouts. So a few things on the go. So I left that stamp set there so that I could just refer to it to see what the name was. And it is indeed uh, friendly foliage. Okay, so I'm just going to snip this off at an angle. There we go. And now we have Lost Lagoon and Blackberry Bliss. So we will have some choice of a piece of Blackberry Bliss. We're going to mount this on. And because this is a very narrow border, I'm going to use my liquid adhesive here. Little bit of wiggle around room. Give it. Want it. We don't. Give it a nice press. Put the lid back on the glue so we don't have any mishaps. Okay, and then I asked you to punch 3 circles. Mine are basic beige, and they're going to kind of come in here somehow or other. And then some small interest elements. And I have stamped and punched, but not all that well. Look, we got a lot of white on the top of this butterfly here. Let's just trim that off a little bit, shall we? There we go. Better. Thought I would just pop these guys up on there, and then this can come in somewhere. Maybe there. Maybe we'll do it like that, eh? That could work. I wonder if this should have been on basic beige, since that's very light. Let's try that. One moment. Basic beige. Okay. So I'm just going to grab some of this. Maybe. I think this may work better. Okay, stamp my sentiment again. And I think I'm going to use the Blackberry Bliss. I think that's the way we want to go. Just going to bring this down towards me a little bit so that I can have a bit of an overhead look. Get it centered, get it straight, get it down, hope for the best. Hello, Michelle, welcome. We're experimenting, we're playing. We're making a little bit of a mess with ink. Not so much all over the workspace, not too bad, but the paper towel has another story to tell. You could use this for a background in a card, couldn't you? I'd look kind of cool. Okay, cut this on a bit of an angle, and this on a bit of an angle. There we go. Yes, I think that is what we wanted. That's going to work better. Okay, so I'm going to adhere these circles first. Sometimes when you die cutter punch, you can feel a little bit of an edge, but really isn't on this one, so I don't think it really matters, but we'll just, and you can put these circles anywhere, or you could skip the circles and just use put the butterflies right on here. Doesn't really matter. There is no right or wrong, although this it would kind of work. It will pop a little bit better on the beige. And this was the plan. So this is what we're going to go with this time. I want this right over here. Then I cover up all of the, maybe just there, right? Okay, and then I'm going to put dimensionals on these guys and dimensionals on my sentiment. Look, the very last of the dimensionals on this bit. So we're just going to chop it in half. Put that right across there. This right across there. And then head over to the sheet. And I think that I need to cut these in half because the butterflies are not large, and this is only 1/2 inch as well, so even this sometimes you can fit a dimensional on it, you just have to place it carefully. And since I tend to rush at some of these things, making them smaller is the way to go. Experimenting is always fun, says Michelle. It is indeed, Michelle. Um, it's sometimes just playing. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're doing. You're just kind of trying some things. We're going to do a little bit of that in a moment or two because we kind of messed. Did you hear that? That would be the royal we. Uh, kind of messed up our first kick at this. This could even, I'll put this on the card base before I stick that down, just in case. Sometimes I like to dangle it right over the edge, uh, just to just to be different, right? You always sort of think of your layers as your frame, and things shouldn't go over the edges, but sometimes, sometimes going over the edge works. And so I'll put this onto here, and then we can have a really good look at where we want the sentiment to be. So this could go right out to that edge. I don't know that I wanted to do that, but it could go out there a little bit. So let's put this straight so that we can get the sentiment straight. Don't want to worry about it being centered, so I'm going to go high. Nope, I'm going to try and center because I think that's where it will look best. Centered in there and straight. That's a double whammy. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Good enough. Okay, I did get gems out. Here we go. No, the circles are basic beige. They could be vellum though, couldn't they? Hmm. Hmm. See? That's what I said right off the top. My goal is to inspire you, maybe do what I've done and then take it up a notch. Take it to the left, to the right. Change it up. Whatever strikes you. Some of these are gorgeous grape and some of them are blackberry bliss. So I want to kind of make sure I get the right ones. They look blackberry bliss from the back, but then they look very purple against a white sheet like that. So let's see what we have here. We have blackberry bliss. These are all purple, different purples, purples everywhere. Okay, we're going to use these. So these are blackberries. There we go. We have lots going on there, don't we? I think it'll work. I think it's okay. I think we're good. All right, so there is card number one. We have a couple extra sentiments for something. For this one, this was the one that I had made originally. This touch, this did not, but it'll be okay. By the time we get everything on, I think it'll work. And I think for this one, I may need to I have some other butterflies because in my planning process, I was just looking to quickly come up with something to see sizing and how it would look and stuff. And so I just punched them out of cardstock. Couldn't even do this. Something like that. Something to cover the spots to the best advantage. Maybe something like that. That could work. And then this could. Anyway, I will sort that out. That's probably dry enough to use, but so here's the one that didn't work. So let's just have a little itty bitty play for a moment and see. I'm just going to chop this off here. And now we have an even bit. I wonder if we're square. I didn't even measure. So we are 3 3/4 by, look at that, 3 3/4. Okay, so it is square. But here's what I was sort of thinking, and I don't know what this is going to lead to. Okay, so this is where it should be craft spot because the adventure is about to begin. I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to move some of these things out of the way. I'm going to grab a little more paper towel. I should have had more clean paper towel, but I don't, but that's okay. We're just going to put all of this down here like this. And then we are going to look for our spritzer again. Maybe we'll move some of these things out of the way, put some of these things away so that we don't destroy everything in sight. And then we are going to spritz this some more and see what happens. So when you wet the watercolor paper, the ink. Oh, aim for your paper. Would have been a little bit inkier, probably. We'll just sort of see what we get. I don't know. Might not look like anything worth using. I'm not certain. But you know what? If you don't try, you don't know, right? Just pull a little bit of the liquid off of the edge here. Towel I got on there. So that if we use this, that will be where something goes. I don't know. The other thing you can do at this point, okay, we've come this far. What the heck? Here goes nothing. I'm going to take the little block and I'm going to add some blackberry bliss because I think my paper is quite moist. So I'm just going to stamp that a little bit and then I'm going to put this down onto here. Oh, see, that's so the one of the things that I was going to suggest that you could try rather than spritzing your block is to spritz your watercolor paper. If you haven't played with watercolor paper, you need to get a pack and you need to play because it's a fun thing. So this is wet watercolor paper, and then I've put my ink down on it, but because the paper was wet, it allowed it to bleed. I wonder if I should come back in with a little more pretty peacock. See, we're layering up color or we're ruining it. I don't know. But actually, it's the Lost Lagoon I want, isn't it? Let's just come in here. A little bit of this. Stamp that down on there. Get a little inky going on, a little spread. Okay, this, I don't know, might work. We'll see. I think I'm going to stop now because there's a fair amount of color in the pretty peacock still. And we'll just stop there. We'll just set this to the side. I don't anticipate that this will be dry before we finish today, but let's see what I get and see what I can share with you another time. Okay, getting down to the dregs of my paper towel here. But I was going to do one more, and I was going to do a compare between um, doing this technique on watercolor paper and on cardstock. But I used my watercolor paper when I messed up the last one. Hey Donna, thanks for joining us. So let's just maybe give this a go on cardstock. And again, we're into the adventure bit, right? I don't know exactly how this is going to work or if this is going to work, but let's check it out, shall we? Okay, so this time I have lost my block. I have Gorgeous Grape. It's very inky, so I think I am going to take a little bit of this ink off the way we did last time. Okay, and then I'm going to spritz this. Where did my spritzer go? Oh, used a lot of water. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put this right close to the top. Okay. Now this, I don't know that you can dab at this one quite as easily. I'm actually not going to touch that because it's not watercolor paper now. It's going to react differently. This is thick, basic white. So I'm going to actually move this out of the way because we are making a bit of a mess here. Um, it's the thick cardstock because I thought with water I might need to I might need to have a little more cardstock underneath to support what we're doing. So that is thick basic white, gorgeous grape. Now I'm coming in with well, we're going to take a chance here. We're going to plunk that down. That is Peaceful Pine. I should have done the third one first, right? Just so I could see how it was going to fit. We're just going to make it fit. I did put it close, so I think we'll be okay. This is Highland Heather. And again, it doesn't look like it's as intense, but it's lighter and I want it to be lighter. So for anyone that has just joined, I'm spritzing water on the block after I ink it and before I stamp it. Just to get it to smoosh around a bit. Now this one, see, it absorbs into that paper quite quickly. Okay. So it still works without watercolor paper. What you don't couldn't do is some of the techniques. If you make this cardstock really wet, you could try it. I think it might. I don't know. I don't honestly know if it would react differently. And I don't have one of these that's dry. So I don't, I could hit this guy. I'm gonna hit this guy with my heat tool a little bit just to speed the process because then hopefully we can finish this card. Okay. I would show you what I'm doing, but my heat tool is on a short leash. So I'm just using it to dry the cardstock. It is causing it to curl because I'm rushing the process, but we'll just use lots of adhesive to stick it down. Hit it on the back, maybe that'll flatten it out a little bit. Okay, I think we're dry enough. Okay, so here's what we have. And then I have some more bits and pieces. Oh, way over here. Okay. I wasn't quite sure what we're going to do. I did cut out some little pieces. These are from the Violet designer series paper. Violet Dreams. This one's relatively new from the I believe it was in the July online exclusives it was released, so you will find it online, but some lovely paper, all in pinks and purples and peaceful pine and things. So um, very pretty if you want to check that out. And two of the pieces have little triangle or diamonds of violets. So I thought these could work well. Oh, see, I wasn't really thinking about that. Look at that. We got purple on purple. Maybe we go to the edges. Like that. Or I do have more circles, and I could always punch more circles. I basic beige circles. Not sure that that's quite what we want with all of this. We might want white. Okay, so you see, this was not entirely figured out before we started. Uh, Where's my punch? It's an oldie but a goodie. This is it's actually 1 3/8, so it's not quite 1 1/2 that I had mentioned in my instructions. Ooh, ooh, I should have a little larger piece of basic white because that circle has a squared side. Here we go. This will work better. Safer. So you probably know, but anytime you're punching, you want to hold your punch in what you would think is the upside down position, because that way you won't end up doing this and getting part paper, part hole because your punch wasn't placed correctly. Okay. So what do we think about a little a little extra tabby bit there? Just this is where you yeah, we'll just trim that a little bit more. Yes, we'll just trim that a little bit more. Okay, so if we put this maybe right in the center, I'm not sure. This one is not going to have a whole lot of circles showing. Maybe we skip the circle for that one. Put this one on a circle. What do we think? Does that work? No, no, don't, no. So we could put these on the white circles. We could put them right on here. There's just not a lot of, I could cut another, oh, we could do this, couldn't we? If I cut, it's very close to the top though. Hmm, and it would be very close to the bottom. Actually fits better in this middle piece. I could put these, do this in a pattern over here, kind of like that, and sort of skip the other circle for the other boxes. What do we think? Maybe if I put the sentiment over here. Any thoughts, anyone? What do we have for other sizes? Oh, what about square? 1 inch square. What else do we have in our magic book of fun and tricks? And this is quite large, I think, isn't it? That's 1 3/4. That's a pretty large circle, I think. I don't think we want it quite that big. It's going to hide too much of our block. Yeah, I don't like that one. Okay, what about a square? I have a 1 inch square. Just cut some of this off. And let's see, did you think this was going to be, it was supposed to be craft along. It wasn't supposed to be create along, but here we are. I might as well just punch one more while I'm here. So what about this? I like the square better than the circle. What do you think? Square over circle? Hmm. So hard to say, right? Now when I put this back, I kind of think it looks okay. Maybe I just needed to look away for a minute. Okay, we're going back to plan A. I am going to I'm going to glue these flat and then we'll pop up the circle, I think. Glue this onto here. I'm just kind of centering. This one. We go. And then we need, okay, so here's more decisions. So originally I was thinking gorgeous grape layer, and then it would probably mount on basic white. Boring. So let's rethink that to peaceful pine layer and gorgeous grape card base. Yes, I think that's more fun. Okay, I'm going to move some of these pieces out of the way. I'm going to glue this down, and this one is going to need a pretty decent quantity of glue. It is the liquid glue, so we don't want a thick layer, but we want a generous layer everywhere because my paper is not super flat. It's a little bit rumpled because I heated it to dry it. So it will be fine when it's all glued down, but gotta get it there first. Slide that down a tiny bit. Okay, turn it over, hold it down. I didn't do a sentiment for this yet, so where I had many basic white strips here. There should be one still. Here we go. Oh, what are these? Is this what I was supposed to be using? How many of those pieces do I have? Goodness. Okay, too late now. Let's do Get Well Soon again. And we'll do it in, maybe we'll do it in Peaceful Pine, eh? Just to either be Peaceful Pine or Gorgeous Grape, but oh, that's messy. Try this again. Gently inking everywhere. Okay. Bring this down here. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Peaceful Pine is one of the new in colors, and it is lovely. Let me tell you that it just looks a little bit moist for a moment there. I'm just going to set that aside and do this while we give it a moment to dry. And then this is going to go onto our colored base. We're going to use most of the hour today, but it was a technique and it was messy. And then we played a little bit and there was lots going on. So it's my story. You like the circle, Donna. Excellent. That's good. Because that's what I ended up using there. So we have similar tastes on that one. We go. Haven't I had never made get well cards until very recently when this stamp set had get well soon in it. I thought, what a great sentiment. I should make some get well cards. And so I've done some of that recently. These are just the half ones that I'm using, so I'm just going to stick 3 onto here. And this is the edge piece, so we have to come in and chop it up into little bits. You always want to use all your edges and every bit of your dimensionals. They're all just dimensionals. They're all sticky on both sides and everything else. So don't think you can only use the center ones. You want to use all of them. What's that? An ad for something. One time said, "Don't let any get away." Same with your dimensionals. Use them all. Don't let any get away. Okay. Here's my pick. Get these backs off of here. Oops, backs off of that, and it's sticky. Okay. Oh. Okay, now we just have to assemble. I'm gonna put this onto here, give or take a little bit of spacing. There we go. And this one onto here. Nope. And then this one will come over onto our green square. Oops. Trying to center it, but I can't see the top when I'm holding it with my finger. Go. Back centered. And then this, hopefully, yes, okay. Just checking. This is a little wider than on our last card, so I'm going to just stick that right at the edge of that. And then it will still fit on the card base, but this one is going to dangle a little bit. But that will be okay. And then we'll come in here, and this time we do want the purple gems, not the blackberry bliss gems. So, okay. This one, that one actually has blackberry bliss in two sizes, but it's okay. Too late now. Do I want? Maybe I'll do these. There we go. Okay. So, that was definitely a little bit of an adventure today. Here is the first card. This is the watercolor paper. This is the watercolor paper. Oh, I guess I could have left those on there, couldn't I? Just, this is not a finished card, but this is the watercolor paper that we made. So we didn't use it because we were waiting for it to dry. This is just on basic white cardstock, and this is still damp, but that's the other piece that we spritzed and just sort of played with. Can I get all this in here, all the junk out of the way, bring this down just a little bit. Put me back up there. If you have not subscribed to my mailing list, you can go right there and then you can sign up. You'll hear all about everything that I'm doing and where to find all the silly fun and adventures that we embark upon. And I would also love to have you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already done that. Okay, let me just straighten this slightly, come back here. There we go. So that was a little bit of fun, hopefully, a little bit of an adventure, a little bit of mess, not terrible, but an easy and fun technique that you can use to make backgrounds. And again, switch it up. You can use any size blocks. You can change up your blocks. You can overlap your blocks with different colors. And as I say, this is the starting point. This is to inspire you to go and try some different things on your own and have some fun with it. Get some watercolor paper. It is really fun to play with. So I don't think you'll be disappointed. Okay, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you are still here, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here and crafting along with me or watching and commenting. I always love that. So uh, take care, and I hope we can craft together again really soon. Bye for now.